Alrighty, hello everybody. Welcome back to LEGOthon 2025, day 2. We're starting this off with a very exciting run here, like Harry Potter years 5 through 7. No levels early, run by Chimkin and Tfresh with myself on comms. Whenever they're ready, they will start the run, and time starts when they press OK here on the autosave screen. So, whenever that is, I can count them now, I guess. 3, 2, 1, go. Alright, sick. So, this run starts off real quick here with an out of bounds. Now, not gonna explain this tech just yet, it's really quick now, so I'm gonna explain it the next time it happens in this level. Basically, they get out of bounds here, and they can just jump through the collision here and pause fly all the way to the end of this room. And pause flying is a really unique and weird piece of tech. Basically, if they just have really high FPS, they can really pause their game and be able to stall their flight basically forever. Not sure why that works, but it does, and it's really cool that it does work like that. It makes this game really broken, and you'll see that there's just a lot of really broken pieces of tech in this game. Right now we're in the middle of an auto-scroller, but this is actually a good auto-scroller for the speedrun, because they need to be collecting studs here, as we're gonna be buying a 110,000 spell right after the second split of this run, so not very far from now. And this auto-scroller is filled with blues and purple studs, so it's really beneficial to have it very early on here. And also collecting a crest here for fun. Right here, so let me actually explain what the tech you saw in the first room was. So it's called a stored super jump. Basically, they're gonna get their character stuck, and the character's gonna super jump out. And when they switch back to the character stores a second super jump that goes in random places, and they can just use that to get out of bounds here, and then walk on some really weird collision, and skip this entire section, just like that. And there we go, that's very nice. That's normally like a over 1 minute room, and right there just took them like 20 seconds. Very fast. You're gonna do another stored super jump here, get out Harry stuck right there, he's gonna jump out. And now they can use the stored super jump to get past the I don't even know, like the poster here, I guess. And another really broken piece of tech you'll see here is there are these camera pans or mini cutscenes all over the game. And in this game, if you just call in the second player when the mini cutscene starts, it just skips the cutscene immediately, which is really good. It saves probably like tens of minutes in this category, because you can do that on every single mini cutscene or camera pan. And we're gonna see another stored super jump here. Like I've said, this is a really fast-paced level, a lot of happening here. Hard to keep up, so no worries if you're not catching on very quick. We'll see more of these stored super jumps all throughout the run, so plenty of opportunities to see more how this tech works. Another caravan skip here, and you're gonna force this box early and build this this handle here to end the level. And that's the first level of the run. I can assure you that there's a lot of the levels are not gonna be as intense as this one. This is a really recently become a really complex level. But this run is actually not that difficult to follow after this point. Right now, they're in a status screen, just watching the stud count. They've collected seems to be about 75k studs here, and so they only need about 35k more for the Glacius spell, which we'll be seeing them buy in after the next split. So right now, this is kind of the hub of this game, the Diagon Alley, the Leaky Cauldron, the London here, and you make your way from here to Hogwarts, which is the actual main hub where most stuff in this game happens. And while they get to the train here, I just want to quickly explain, I guess, what exactly no levels early entails, because I haven't really talked about that yet. So, no levels early means basically that everything in the game needs to be completed in the intended order, which doesn't mean they're not doing any skips, it's just you can't do any sequence breaks of the story. And now that you hear that, if you don't know what any percent speedrun of this game looks like, it's insanely broken. We basically use this game as a sandbox, just warp from one year to another without obeying any laws of time travel. And right now they're gonna do a little bit of a skip here to exit the room and then come back in, and that's gonna make the gate at the end of the room stay open for some reason, which saves a couple of seconds here. But yeah, back to what I was saying. Basically, the any percent speedrun is insanely broken with how the route works, so it doesn't even play half of the levels in the game. So yeah, that's why this category exists, so you can speedrun the entire game, basically. And it's really cool. It's a really amazing speedrun, which I hope you will see from this run by Chimkin and Tfresh today. So they've made it their way to the castle here, and they will be progressing here to the first lesson, which is Defense Against Dark Arts banned, which is the part of the movie where Umbridge basically bans bans Defense Against Dark Arts in the castle. So as you can see in the top left corner right now, the runners only have one spell unlocked at the moment, which is Wingardium Leviosa. And this lesson, the Data Band, is gonna basically unlock the ability to have more spells, but at the same time, it's supposed to be a lesson where you get the ability to use spells taken away. So it's a little bit of a weird situation here. But anyway, this is the lesson, and they're gonna be doing some weird parkour here with Paul's flying to basically skip its entirety. You can just pause fly to that ledge and then around the tube here and get this key early. And if you try to leave this lesson early, which you're not supposed to do, the cutscene just plays instead, and that finishes the lesson. Normally you're supposed to do like a whole potion here, but yeah, it doesn't really bother us here. So we get all the spells taken away, but at the same time we actually unlock the ability to use spells. And now they're gonna exit to Diagonally, and they have enough studs to buy the Glacius spell, which is gonna be insanely broken. It's an extra spell that you don't even need for 100% completion, and it breaks this game in its entirety. You will see why in a second. I also do want to quickly explain, I don't think we've seen many no-cut 5 runs this, I guess we have, but let me just quickly remind you what no-cut 5 is. It's basically a cheat code we can input before the run to allow us to skip every single cutscene in the game from New Game. Which is not something you're supposed to do normally, but it's a nice little thing we speedrunners can use to not have to watch cutscenes in the runs. And that's what's happening in this one. So they're gonna get the spoon to the spoon man here, call in player 2 to skip the camera pan, and they're gonna try to clip through this door early. And that's basically what the Glacius spell they bought was for. This spell freezes your character into an ice cube, and if you on high FPS, the ice cube can just go through the wall. It doesn't have very many collision checks, so to speak. So there's a lot that's possible with that Glacius spell. You can clip, you can kind of launch. It's really broken. So that was our first example of that. Right now they're heading to the second lesson, which is the Testrals lesson. It's not a very useful lesson, but if you don't complete it, if you were to not complete this lesson, it's actually a softlock, because even though it feels really useless, its ability is required one time in the game. They just basically need to give food to the 3 Testrals here, and you can see how nice co-op 2-player is here. They can just each kind of focus on their own side. So Chimkin player 2 is doing the left here with the fishing rod, and Tfresh player 1 is going to the right using magic on the log. And Chimkin is actually going to join Tfresh here in the middle. And Tfresh is going to try to make this jump, which is a really difficult jump actually, to the right here to skip building the bridge. And yeah, Chimkin is currently giving the fish to that Testral here. Chimkin did drop out, so Tfresh has an easier time with this jump. There we go. And that is this lesson, also very fast-paced. And I believe now they will be heading into the, if I'm not mistaken with the route, I haven't played this category in a while, they will be heading to the second level of the game, which is gonna be exciting for a couple of reasons. Because if you've not been keeping up, there was an incentive for Senor, which is another LEGO runner who is Tfresh's roommate, to play as player 2 for this next level. So, I mean, I can imagine they will be swapping here in a second, and it will be interesting to see, because I have gotten some inside info that Senor has not played this game, like, at all. So will be interesting. I don't know if he's already in or not. Can't really tell from just the castle movement. But I imagine we'll be seeing that. They are switching to VSync on here for one reason. VSync on basically caps their FPS at 60. And it allows for some things to be faster, like this dig with Hermione, or with the cat here. Okay, looks like Senor is in, so Tfresh is gonna probably be coaching him what to do here. Yeah, they're digging this, I don't remember what his name is, I think Bean, from the snow. And then need to give him the wand here. And another really, really broken piece of tech is called Lumos canceling, which you may have seen there if you have a keen eye. Basically, if there is an NPC you need to give an item to, if you give them the item and then switch to the Lumos spell, it cancels the animation, and you don't need to like basically watch the animation of you giving the item to the NPC. And Lumos cancelling is not only used for that, Lumos can basically cancel every single animation in the entire game, which is really handy. And we'll be seeing some of those uses later as well. This level, basically, they just need to give items to a bunch of these students here. Doesn't really have a lot of lore, but the idea is that you want to recruit them to Dumbledore's army. Get Luna out of the barrel, and you can actually shoot her to, well, not with Glacius, but okay. Yeah, I think this is a very big confirmation that Senor is in fact playing right now, so it's good to know. Anyway, yeah, so they have two characters here down. They need to get the flowers here and need to get the shovel for Neville and Cho. And the Senor's having some troubles with shoveling cleaning up the plants here. I don't blame him. It's actually very unintuitive to do this, especially if you play the game for the first time. So this is they made a strength potion here because they need to pull these strength handles, and something Lumos canceling can also do is cancel the animation of the strength handles. So they pull that strength handle and they immediately switch to Lumos, so they don't need to watch the animation of the character recovering, basically. Yeah, so now they can give the flowers to Cho here, and we'll be doing another freeze clip into the next room instead of opening the door. Needs to be a little closer, okay. And yeah, you can see just another example of how broken free slipping is. They'll just be able to clip into that just like that. Very nice. Player 2 will be using the book puzzle here. Player 1 will just be using the theater here. They need to get the last 3 students their items here. And that will be the end of the level. First needs to give the apple to the hog statue to get the Dementor to spawn in. Don't ask me why there's a Dementor in the hog's head. I mean, I can only assume it's a Bogart. There's a really long camera pan here that they're hoping to skip. Okay, very nice. Yeah, so there's a camera pan when you build that painting. And it gives you the last item, and that camera pan is actually like 30 seconds long. But if you skip the camera pan, it gives you the item like instantly for some reason. That's very nice. So that was the incentive right there. Seeing we're playing that level. Chimkin will be taking over the controller now for the rest of the run. And yeah, so what happens here is they gave I don't remember what his name is. I think Colin his camera, and he spawns in the key. But they don't actually use the key just yet. They just clip through the door because it's a little bit faster, and they're now heading into the dueling lesson. And this door here that they're gonna... You can go through this door after like 5 seconds, but if they can clip through it early, that saves a bit of time, and that's very nicely done. This is a really boring lesson. You just basically need to shoot this dummy 4 times and then do a duel with... I don't even know who you do the duel. I think Ginny, maybe? No? Never mind. I don't know who this person is. So yeah, this ability, the dueling lesson, doesn't unlock any ability. It says it unlocks the dueling ability, but that's not true. If we actually, like, this run is not gonna do any sequence breaks, but if we were to do sequence breaks, you don't need to do this lesson in order to do the duels in the later part of the game. So it's just like it's more of a tutorial than an actual lesson that unlocks you something. But it is required, so they need to do it. No way to get around it. And they'll be heading into the next level, 5-3. So the 3rd level of year 5. And this is actually a pretty short level, and it's a really unique level. It's one of the only levels where you have like you don't have all of your normal party, so Harry, Ron, Hermione. You have Harry and Snape because this is Harry's memories. First thing they're gonna do is they're gonna do a stored super jump to get past that gate just like that, very nicely. And there's an out of bounds door to end that first room right there. Jump into the painting there to get the cobweb off. Definitely not intended, but it is really fast to do that. You'll see another Lumos cancelling example here, and there's actually a lot of those Lumos cancelling going on in this level. You do need to wait for Molly to use the handle here for you. And another camera pan skip coming up here, so basically they just drop out in advance, and once this camera pan starts, Chimkin is gonna drop back in to skip it.
Do you have a quick second for some updates?
Of course, yeah, go ahead.
So, 2 things. Just one reminder that we are $33 away from Buy Peter Jackson for Lego the Hobbit, restricted free play, so that's going to be in 2 runs. So let's get those in. And the second thing is we have a new incentive for Lego Lord of the Rings, which is the next run, 8-bit music. If you want to hear some potentially pleasant, potentially unpleasant, I haven't activated that red brick myself, but if you want to hear that for next run, 8-bit music, that's $50. Let's get those donations in.
Yeah, for sure. Thank you, Hav, for the reminder here. If you're liking the event so far and you want to, raise money for a good cause, make sure to to donate. All of the money goes to charity, and it's a really nice nice thing that we're doing here. So that was that level. Not much really to talk about, other than the limos canceling and the room 1 out of bounds they did. They will now be heading into the Defindo lesson, which is the first like actual proper lesson, as it's the first lesson where we will unlock a new spell for all our characters. The red spell, but you don't actually do most of the lesson. You can just do some really clever parkour. Actually, oh, that's unfortunate. They had the object go out of the way. That's not a problem, though. They just need to build this. But yeah, you don't really do most of the lesson. You can just jump up here and then just do the final Defendo use on that back wall. And the game doesn't really expect you to do this out of order because you're supposed to not go up there early. So if you just do the last one, it will count the lesson as complete. Which is a really handy time save. And I'm gonna be honest, I don't think I've ever done this. I've not done this lesson the intended way in like at least 7 years, so I wouldn't even know what to do if this skip didn't exist. And after this lesson, they can go to the next level, 5-4, which is a level that I am giving all of my blessings to them, because it has a really big skip at the very beginning, and it doesn't like to go well every time. So we'll see how it goes. I'm hoping for the best here. For now, they just need to make their way around the Hogwarts back to the train, basically. That's where the next level starts. And there will be a really cool one-try skip in this next room. Hopefully they will get to showcase that. You know that Hermione has Crookshanks, which is her cat, and she can just summon Crookshanks at will in this game. And Crookshanks is faster than every other character they have right now. And there's a carapan here, and if you skip this carapan very quickly, you can make your way through this door here before it closes, just like that, very nicely done. And that skips you doing that skips you using the Defendo spell right there. So this is the next level, 5-4. And this level, basically the entire level is just one map, and everything is just far away from each other. So if they can clip out right here, they can then pause fly to the very end of the level and finish it in about 30 seconds. Okay, that looks very nice. Nice, they did get clipped out. Something interesting to say about these freeze clips that they will be using a lot is that freeze clips are RNG. They are not consistent. It's a 50% chance which direction you go when you're clipping. So it doesn't always go their way, but that was very nicely done. I can't imagine they will be really happy with this split. I don't think it even took them like 20 seconds to clip out, and that now they just need to finish this puzzle here with Sirius and Harry to put the wall together. And I mean, that's the level. That was probably under a minute. So yeah, that's very nice. That was a point I was worried about personally. I know they probably were as well. So that's done. That's very amazing. They will be going into the next lesson here, which is Expecto Patronum. Expecto Patronum is a spell that Harry has right now, because he learned it in the first game, like Harry Potter Years 1-4, but none of the other characters do have it. And this lesson basically teaches this spell to the rest of the characters, which is not, like, as far as the speedrun goes, it's not, like, useful. We don't need this, but no levels early does require us to do this lesson. It's a very two-player intense lesson. You can just kind of speed up the tasks, like speed up everything if you're just doing 2 tasks at the same time with both players. You can see how nice the co-op works here. They'll be finishing this section at about an even time here. Wasn't much time to talk about it, but basically this lesson is just you need to cast Expecto Patronum at the fake Dementors once with each character. And you need to unlock the different fake Dementors from different places. And I believe right after this is a weird point in the run. They have 2 other lessons they need to do before we actually get to another level. And you can see that Chimkin is actually going to use the key right there onto the padlock to just unlock that door for later, because, like I've said, and like you might have seen, you can't just clip through that door every time, but you can just also get the key into the padlock during downtime, so that you don't need to clip through that. And it's really nice because clipping can be annoying, is not consistent every time, so it's just good to have that. And this lesson is befriending Grop, I believe. That's what it's called. You will see a launch right at the beginning here. You can get yourself stuck in this corner, and you know how I've mentioned that Hermione can summon Crookshanks? If she summons Crookshanks in the corner like that, and gets stuck in the corner, it will launch her up on high FPS. It doesn't work everywhere, it only works in like a select few places, but it is actually a very useful tech. You might have seen right there. In this lesson, it's just finding different musical instruments to give to Grob. Right there's 2 camera pans in a row that you can't really skip. I think you can, but it's really difficult. So, yeah, they just need to get this duck onto this thing here. Another camera pan skip. And then need to magic one more thing, and that's the entire lesson. And now this is actually the lesson where also this is completely useless. You do not gain anything from this. It's more there to be just like filler content, I guess, because it happened in the movie, so they wanted it in some way in the game. And next up we have yet another lesson. The lesson where they will be learning, or actually Harry will be learning the focus spell. So, throw back to about 15 minutes ago, maybe a little bit less, when they were doing the level 5-3, which was with Harry and Snape. And they were going through Harry's memories, basically. And that level was called Focus. But you don't actually unlock the focus spell from that level, which is interesting. Instead, you have this lesson, which is Harry going through Snape's memories. And that's where Harry actually learns focus. Which I guess it is true to the movie. But it is an interesting lesson as well, because yeah, it's not really a lesson. You'll see why in a second. They need to give the spoon to Snape here for some reason, and they are now with they're now James Potter, Sirius Black, and Remus Lupin, which are basically their goal here is to bully Snape, and that's what they'll be doing here. They'll just be shooting these lockers to get him out of hiding, and then there's gonna be like this whole duel with Snape, which is the first appearance of a duel in this game outside of the lesson. First of all, they need to get Snape out of the tree, so they're gonna be switching with both Remus Lupin and Sirius Black to their alternative forms, I guess, where they can dig the dig spots and they make the scissors. And there's this duel here. And duels in this game, like you might have seen from the dueling lesson, you just need to select the spell that your enemy is using and then shoot that spell at them, and then you just spam a button for a couple of seconds. And that's really it. It's not really very complicated mechanic, but there's actually more optimization to it than it looks. Once we unlock a spell later on, Agumenti, they will be trying to basically force as many Aguamentis into duels as possible, because that's the fastest spell. And yeah, that's the lesson. They will be unlocking the focus spell, which is all caps for some reason. And now they can, if I, again, remember the route correctly, they can go to 5-5, which is the second to last level of this year. And this is a really broken level. And that's kind of crazy to say, considering they just... Actually, no, there's one more lesson here. There's still Weasley boxes. I forgot that we do this right now.
You have 1 second for a donation.
Oh yeah, of course. This is not gonna be very interesting.
Okay. Get it selling the game. Anyway, we got $25 from Prince saying you shall not play without 8-bit music. That's $25 to 8-bit music, which we will be starting that run in about an hour and a half. So let's finish off another $25 for 8-bit music so we can hear that.
Very sick. Thank you, Prince. And I did actually lie. This is not an uninteresting section. You did just see them. They did a freeze clip to get out of bounds here, and they pause flight to do some out of bounds movement, and then they're pause flying here again to get just behind that door. For some reason I thought they were gonna be doing the inbounds route here, which was gonna be a little bit less interesting, but ended up not being the case, I guess. So now, right now, they just need to make the rocket here. The lore is that you need to create a rocket to make Umbridge run away from the owls exams. I don't remember exactly what the lore is, but anyway, you make this rocket, and that unlocks the Weasley Box's ability, which is actually a quite common ability in this game. Like, you need to use it a lot. We'll see what they do once we get there. Anyway, now we're actually going to 5-5. And as I was alluding to before, I remembered that they were actually not going to the level yet. This level, for the longest time, was just unbroken. There was no skips, and especially the first room. The first room has the first room is basically a minute-and-a-half long auto-scroller, where you don't do anything. But now we actually do have a skip, and it's really simple. All you're gonna do is you're first gonna jump on this milk bottle onto the clock here, and jump from the plates here, do like a tiny bit of a jump outwards and inwards, and that hits the out of bounds door for that section. It's just barely reachable, just from jumping from that spot. And we were not aware of that for like multiple years. We were aware that the door existed, but we didn't know you can get up to it so easily. And in this room, Tfresh is gonna do a pet launch. Actually, he's gonna pause fly over this wall first, and then he's gonna do a pet launch in this corner, which will give him enough height to get over almost everything in this room, just like that. Doesn't seem like he will be going for the full skip here. He's gonna need to make the scissors to cut through this last gate. And that's almost the entire level done, basically. They have only one more room left to go, and it's a really, really quick one. Just need to shoot down all of the plants here. You basically just need to shoot random things in this room to be able to build this vehicle here. You're not really told what to do, you just need to shoot like 6 random objects and you get the required pieces. So we're gonna drop out, and he's gonna need to spook the birds here with the bell. And they will conveniently fly to a log on the right here, and there's gonna be a camera pan. You can skip, there's gonna be another camera pan immediately. And once you skip this camera pan, player 2 can actually just jump over the log early, because the invisible wall goes away as soon as the camera pan starts. And now they just need to wake up, drop here on the right, and lead him to Umbridge to end the level. Yeah. So like I said, it used to be a level with almost 0 skips. Now, really quick one. Only room that can't be skipped is this last one. But that is fine because it's not a bad room. And just like that, we almost have the entire first year of this game done. There's only one more level left. There's no lessons in between here. They're just gonna be going straight into the last level of year 5. And this level is in a very similar boat to the last one, where it used to just not have any skips for the longest time, and now it's insanely broken. And yeah, you will see why here in a second. In this first room, they're gonna be doing another stored super jump. So if player 2 just jumps in that corner, for some reason the AI will do a super jump, and then they're gonna super jump or they're gonna get Hermione in that corner, switch, and that gets her out of bounds. Really, really quickly. And in this room, very quick here, you can just die twice, and it will skip you to the next section immediately. So you can see them doing this again. And this room is supposed to be a big, big arena here. But you can get serious stuck in that corner, switch him to pad food, drop out, and that gives him a big launch. And you can fly to that out of bounds door. And yeah, I mean, that's 3/4 of the level done already. Now, this is a bit of an unskippable section here. They need to wait for this fire, dragon, snake, I don't know what this is, to do an attack to build a sprinkler here. And after that, they need to wait one more phase to actually get rid of this this fire creature. So a little bit of waiting around here. What you might have seen Tfresh and Chimkin doing here is if you just hold down the spell selecting button, so you just hold that, you don't actually take damage from anything. And a very similar thing with holding these handles, you just don't take damage if you hold them, which is really nice because this creature tends to be really annoying with how much damage it deals, but they can just avoid all of that. And now we'll be seeing a very interesting tech, and one that's only going to be used once this run, which is called freeze launching. So we all know freeze clipping, but you can actually, if you freeze clip into some weird collision, like right here, you will actually just get a launch. Because the game doesn't know how to handle your feet being in the ground. And they can pause fly to an out of bounds door that's just right here, and that ends this level. Insanely quick level. It's normally like a really, really long level, and it's done just like that. And that's the first year completed. And I guess while we're waiting for them here to get to the next level, to the first level of year 6, I can quickly explain kind of the concept of out of bounds doors. So pretty much every single game has these things called out of bounds doors, or developer doors, or debug doors, whatever you want to call them. And they're basically there for when the game was being made. They were just using the doors to like skip sections faster and kind of like play test everything quicker. But they just actually left them in for the release versions because they are not supposed to be hit. You're not even supposed to know about them. But we're speedrunners, we do know about them, and we have ways of hitting them. But this game has a very interesting limitation applied to out-of-bounds doors. You can't use an out-of-bounds door that ends the level, because if you do, that will not progress the story. But they did do that in the last level. However, because it was the last level of year 5, they don't need the story progression, basically. So, even though the story didn't progress, it still took them to the next year, which has a separate story progression. So they are fine in that department. And we'll see, actually, 2 more of these examples later for the other 2 years. But right now, this is a really, really quick level. 2 free slips in room 1, and just some really cool puzzling right there to get that done very quickly. Gonna be a pet launch here to get to the higher ledge, which is also supposed to take a bit longer, but, you know, we don't really care about that. I'm gonna change VSync on here to make this rocket go into place a little bit easier, because these objects tend to be a little bit wonky on higher FPS. Just need to put this last thing in here to end this level, and this is a camera pan here, and you can actually just move during it. I guess they did skip the camera pan, but you can just move during that, and that's the end of the level. That's the first level of year 6 done, and I guess if I remember correctly, year 6 is a way faster year than year 5. Maybe it's actually not, but it has way less lessons than what year 5 had. It's mostly gonna be levels. Saying that, though, we will be now heading into 2 lessons in a row, so I guess I'm not exactly correct here, but I think it is more of an exciting year in this speedrun. First of all, they are gonna need to do the specs lesson. So this is where you learn to use spectre specs, which basically finds you these like invisible objects that you can build from, and they just need to build 3 objects here to get rid of these suitcases, and that's our first lesson of this year. I actually don't remember how useful this one is. I don't think it's very useful. I think it's maybe gonna be used like 2 times. But that's mostly because of how much stuff we skip in this game. The very first intended use of Spectre Specs is right here, actually, in this very room. You're supposed to use them to open this gate again, but they're not gonna do that. They're just gonna clip right through this gate, because if there's a door in our way in this game, there might as well just be no door at all, because we can just clip right through. And this will play a real quick cutscene here, and now they're going to the next lesson, which is the Draught of Living Death, and yeah, another pretty useless ability. It's not even required to use for 100% at any point in the game. It's more of a fun add-on for casual players, because you can, once you learn this potion, you can use the potion to turn into a skeleton, which doesn't do anything. It just looks a little bit goofy. But yeah, this is actually a really cool 2-player section here. So player 2 is gonna be Harry, and he's gonna do the parcel tongue there. Player 1's gonna be Ron, and is gonna use the Spectre Specs to get the cabinet here done. And after this, player 2 will get one more thing, which is just putting the wizard heads in the correct spots. This is quite a finicky puzzle. Sometimes the wizards can just like get stuck in a weird way, but it's usually fine, and that was alright. And they're actually gonna do a cutscene skip here. So Tfresh picked up the gold brick when Chimkin was putting the item into the cauldron, and that skipped. Not only did that skip unlocking Draught of Death, which actually soft-locked them out of 100% completion, but it skipped a short little cutscene that otherwise we would see, because the game for some reason just sees that all the items are in place and sees that we are getting a reward, even though it's not the lesson reward, and it just lets us progress after that. Right now, they're not taking an intended path, and instead they're gonna be going to Dumbledore's office the other way around. So you're supposed to build the stairs at this point to get to Dumbledore's office, but you can actually just use this route right here and pause fly past this this gap to get there without building the stairs. And because of that, we actually will not be seeing them build the stairs at any point in this run. And this is Dumbledore's Memories, where we're playing as young Dumbledore and Miss Cole, and what they're gonna do is, instead of doing this first section, Tfresh is just gonna pause fight with Dumbledore over this first gate, and from this point on, you only need Miss Cole once, and for some reason, if they put her in a specific place right here, she will just warp straight to Dumbledore in a couple seconds. Should be seeing that right now. Yeah, there we go. There she is. Just needs her to open this door at the end here, and that's the lesson. Right now, I believe we'll be seeing them exit to the diagonally, because the next level, 6-2, starts at the Hogwarts train. And the game wants us to obviously go through the castle to get to the train, but it is faster. If you return to Diagonally, it is a faster route to take through London to get to the train station from the other side, basically. It will look a little bit weird because you'll be seeing them use the train twice in a row to start the level, but yeah, that's just how the game is coded here. Or wait, actually, I am wrong. Excuse me. That will be the next level, but this level, they need to get to Hogsmeade. But the same rule applies, it's just faster to go through here, instead of going through the intended side of the castle. And instead of completing this puzzle, actually, maybe they will just do it. You can skip giving this guy the spoon if you just clip through, but this is like actually top 3 worst clips in the game. For some reason, it's just bad. So yeah, they're just gonna unlock the gate normally, I guess. That's completely fair. But this next level, 6-2, is an insanely quick level. In free play, this level is like 15 seconds. In story, it's more like a minute, but that's still very, very quick. Because immediately, we're gonna be seeing an out-of-bounds door hit. You can just clip straight down from when you start, and that's where the out-of-bounds door for this room is. Just like that. Very nicely done. This room doesn't have a skip, but it's really, really quick. Slughorn just needs to get the stuff from the table. Harry needs to build some things. And put the plates into the sink, I guess. It's basically just the room where you help Slughorn clean up after a party. And after that, we're actually gonna have a party in this room. And this room, you can actually complete this room in about 2 seconds if you hit the out-of-bounds door. But as I've alluded to before, out-of-bounds doors don't progress story if they're hit at the end of the level. So we'll not be seeing that, but instead we'll be seeing the intended way to play this room, which is also like 25 seconds. So, not too bad. Camera pan skips really do help here because you don't need to watch anything that's happening, you just go from task to task, even though the game intends you to watch the camera pans. But yeah, that's the level. Very, very quick. So at this point in the run, the runners have unlocked almost every single spell, with just 2 left, and they will be unlocking one of them right now, which is the Aguamenti spell. Which is the spell that casts water, basically. And they'll be doing a very cool skip here. So Chimkin is gonna do some really weird parkour there, very, very nicely done, to get to this top floor early. For some reason, some of the fire on that bookshelf he jumped from doesn't have like actual collision, or doesn't have damageable collision, so you can just jump on top of it and be fine. And yeah, all they need to do is build the watering can, and fill it with water, use it, and that will give them the key to free the professor stuck in the chest, and that's the end of the lesson. So I guess even at this point in the game, you kinda can get the idea that even though no levels early is doing the intended way of things, intended route to get through the game, we're absolutely not doing anything other than the route intended. Everything in this game is broken, pretty much. There's only a couple of exceptions, but there's very few in between. So this right now is what I was actually talking about before the previous level. They are taking this route to get to the train from the other side a little bit faster. This next level, though, probably one of my least favorites. Probably a lot of people's least favorite. But it is interesting, that's for sure. It's just not always nice, let's say that. So immediately, they're gonna be clipping out of this room, because you can just get through that door early, and that will skip doing everything in that little shed. Right here, they're gonna be clipping a Molly through this wall, and once you're out of bounds, the floor extends like basically the whole way on the out of bounds section, so you can just walk to the end of this room. But yeah, this clip, it's for some reason very annoying. It just doesn't like to work sometimes. Oh, that was almost it. Yeah, they're getting pretty unlucky here right now. Okay, there we go. So yeah, you can just walk to the end behind the fire, and that skips like a whole very annoying section. So right now they need to get the scissors out to cut through the bushes on the right. This is a really fast room. You just basically need to walk from point A to point B. Oh, they did get... Okay, that sounds pretty funny. And we'll be entering this the boss fight here with Bellatrix, which is our second proper boss fight of this game, if I am not mistaken. The goal here is that you need to shoot Death Eaters for a bit, and then Bellatrix shows up and shoots Avada Kedavra at you, and then she will throw objects, and you're supposed to deflect the objects at her, and that's what we'll be seeing. There isn't really any skip to this, unfortunately. They just need to basically wait it out here. And you need to do it 3 times over, but each phase there's more Death Eaters for them to defeat. And you actually get also this guy, Greyback, and you need to also shoot him to make Bellatrix appear. So the second phase here, very similar to the first phase. Just waiting for Bellatrix to start throwing objects again. And this last phase does have a bit of a... is actually faster than previous phases, because for some reason in this phase, Bellatrix doesn't wait for you to kill the Death Eaters. She just shows up instantly, and the Death Eaters are just more of a distraction. So yeah, the last phase is they spared us the waiting here. It's a little bit faster, so that's good. We still need to get the last object into her though, and that's the end of the level. And now for the final lesson, I believe the final lesson of the game, the Reducto lesson. So after this lesson, Harry's spell wheel will be fully complete. And this lesson is really quick. You just need to shoot 5 of these statues, and one is at the top, but you can just jump from that object and shoot it like that, and I mean, that's the lesson. Oh, what else can I say? Very, very quick. Right now, I believe they have a little bit of a detour to do, since the next stop is 6-4, which is the next level. But before they get to 6-4, they need to go to Dumbledore's office just to watch a cutscene, which, again, we'll not be watching because they're playing on with no cut. But, yeah, it's just mandatory to go there. And you can see that this token here is spawned in. This token will be used later in this year to do a very cool skip. For now, they will get the stairs halfway built from this side, just to make the jump over there. Watch this cutscene, and by watch I mean skip, and make their way back here. And the next level starts in Slughorn's office, which is just to the left of where they are right now. Right in that corner there. Now this level is long, I'm not gonna lie. And this is one of the levels that just is lacking skips, because all of the out of bounds doors that we would be able to use are pretty far out of bounds, and it's also a pain to clip in this level for some reason. So we'll be seeing this room done normally. And it's actually a really complex room, one of the hardest rooms to play correctly. We're making a potion here from all of these ingredients, and this is a potion that's supposed to cure Ron from his love potion that he drank. Basically, they now need to build a reindeer decoration here, which makes the chandelier go down. Don't ask me the logic here. All of that to get a key to get to Slughorn's. I don't know. This is a locker, I guess. To find the medication for Ron again. So now, right now, Harry player 1, he's gonna be fighting Malfoy. And player 2, Ron, is gonna be filling up this Aguamente tank through the water tank through the hatch there. You need 2 players there normally to fill it up, but you actually don't if you just do it from a precise spot. And they're gonna be trying to skip both of these camera pans right now. They did that successfully, very nice. So they basically kind of like cut the time of this room in half by doing both things at the same time. Just need to get the water here. This is a camera pan that they actually don't skip, because this camera pan, the dynamite spawns after it. So there's no point in skipping it, because you need to wait the same amount anyway. So they're gonna completely sabotage the cubicles here, just to get Malfoy out of the cubicle. And there's one more duel with Malfoy that Harry needs to do. And meanwhile, player 2 is just trying to Chimkin player 2 just pet launched to get that crest just for fun. We don't need crests in this category, but it's a cool thing you can do if you're bored, especially in co-op. And after this room, we have the last room of this level, which is the room of requirements. First of all, they need to make a strength potion. So Ginny is gonna grab that ingredient on the left, and then the ingredient on the right here, and Harry's gonna get the flower here. And once that is in, that's the entire potion made. And yeah, basically we can't just clip through this because we need both characters on the other side. So we need to use the potion to use that strength handle. And now, because we have 2 players here, they can just clip Ginny through this wall here. And there's some floor out of bounds that she can walk on. And that gets you to the end of the level, where you can build this anvil and fill the water tank on the left, and that will be the level. So, yeah, we did skip a lot of stuff just in this room, but it all things considered, this is a pretty long level, as far as like every other level in this game goes. So right now, I believe they will be setting up the thing I was talking about. I am not sure right now, actually. Oh, I think they got confused. So what the idea here is, if they coordinate it correctly and one player collects the token and the other goes through the door, like that, this activates a really weird state. This activates a save storage. The game does remember that they picked up that token, but because they skipped the animation of picking it up, it didn't have the time to save the token. So it will just basically use the game will use the next opportunity it has to save that token. And what the game thinks is the next opportunity is the status screen after this level. Which we'll be seeing the effects of that in a second once they finish this level. This level is actually pretty quick. We'll be seeing a clip here straight away to skip the entire room 1. Basically, you can just clip on the left wall here, and then you can just walk to the end of this room, and the transition just barely extends so that you can hit it without destroying the flower. But this clip is not excellent. Let's just say that much. Might take a few tries. Alright. Sweet. This clip out. So, here in this next room, this is actually a really cool room. Slughorn's gonna use this defend the wall before Harry goes into this cutscene trigger, just to get the first item like built and pick up the popsicle here. And actually, Harry player 1 was also shooting the mole when that was happening. And they're gonna divide this room in half. Now Slughorn's gonna go to the bottom, Harry and Fang are gonna go to the top to get that item. And that's basically all they need. Is actually that's the plate there. But yeah, all the items for the potion are on the left side here. And this potion, all it does is it explodes and gives you buildable pieces for this the plate or the button, I guess. They just need both of them on this. Not really sure what this is. It's supposed to get the thing out of the spider, but yeah. Anyway, so now because they got the save storage and they ended the level, you'll be seeing that they are not skipping the status screen, and that's because they just can't. The save storage doesn't allow you to skip through the status screen because this is not supposed to happen. Let's just say that much. But once they press continue story here, the game's gonna save. And the game is just not supposed to save there. Not at all. So they will be now restarting the game. And if they did it correctly, which I am assuming they did, once they restart the game here, they will spawn very close to the next level instead of spawning at the grounds. We'll see if it worked in a second. Also, because they restarted the game, they do need to input NoCat again. I don't know if they're listening to me, but I am hoping they did. They will. Okay, they do remember. Good. So yeah, because of that save storage, they spawned right here. The game remembered where they picked up the token, and the game spawned them here instead of spawning them at the grounds, which does actually end up saving a little bit of time loadless. I don't believe it saves time RTA, but because this game is usually timed out timed without loads, they are focusing on the loadless stuff mostly. Anyway, on to the last level of year 6. Looks like they have their characters backwards. Sure, that's not gonna cause any issues. This first room, just gonna clip Harry through this wall because the door is right there. Gonna use this, get this bridge up, and that plays a caravan that they can skip. And they will be setting up for a skip coming up in the next section, but for now, they have an unskippable section where they need to use this parcel tongue puzzle first. And then they will get your classic LEGO game press buttons in an arbitrary order sequence. So there's 4 of these. It's the same every single time. And there's a caravan after each one. So, very, very cool. Totally not repetitive. That was interesting. I do believe that was intentional. Yeah, so they intentionally waited with Dumbledore to have his wand be put away. And they will be setting up another super jump here. But this super jump is gonna cause them to launch. So they're gonna get a stored super jump from that spot, and they're gonna position themselves very precisely so that Dumbledore jumps inside of the floor. And with any luck, they will be able to launch high enough. That was unfortunately not in the correct spot, it seemed like. With any luck, they will get launched high enough to be able to hit an out-of-bounds door that skips this whole room. Doesn't look like they're getting they're having luck with this right now. This is a really tricky skip. It's also fairly new. Okay, there we go. That should work. Nice. So there we go. They just pause fly from that launch, pause fly forward, and that hits the out of bounds door to skip that. And right now, player 1 immediately jumping through the fire. You're totally supposed to do that. To get to that last duel here early. And player 2 doesn't really have a job here. Chimkin is just meandering about with the thing you're supposed to use normally, but he doesn't actually need to use it. And yeah, that will be year 6 completed. And if you've never played this game before, this game is years 5 through 7, but that doesn't mean we have 1 year left. It's the same as movies, where year 7 is split into 2. So in this game, we technically have a year 7 and a year 8. That's what it's called in the game files. So right now we are in Deathly Hallows Part 1, and it looks like their player 1 is not dropped. Oh, I think that always happens. It's an interesting little thing. Yeah, so right now we're in Deathly Hallows Part 1, which is Year 7, and then Deathly Hallows Part 2, which is Year 7 Part 2, but we just refer to it as Year 8, and that's what I'm gonna call it. Anyway, this first level here, very, very cool level, actually. A lot of 1P2C you'll be seeing, or 2 players rather, not 1P2C. First of all, they need to make a Polyjuice potion here. This is the 7 Harrys, which is where they disguise like all of Dumbledore, or actually not Dumbledore's army. The other crew. I don't remember what they're called. Order of the Phoenix. Yeah, that's what they're called. As Harrys, so that Harry has a easier time getting to the hideout. And yeah, after that, they need to get the motorbike here repaired, because I don't know why, but Hagrid broke it, I think. And this is also a really quick room. And this right here is an auto-scroller. And you'll be seeing that they're gonna be shooting at the Death Eaters, and they're gonna be getting some insane amount of studs here. Like, they're already at 100k, got the True Wizard in this level, and with any luck they will be getting like 800k from this section. We don't really know why this happens, but on higher frame rates, your studs get multiplied in this section on player 1 specifically, not on player 2. So yeah, because Tfresh has a pretty good computer here, he'll be getting a lot of studs. Looks like just over 800k in that section, and funnily enough. That singular room is the reason why this game's 100% has a really easy time with stud routing, because from playing that one room, you can usually afford to buy multiple stud multipliers, which is really crazy. Anyway, in this room, they are just learning the ability to use the Illuminator and Hermione's Bag, which are 2 new abilities for Ron and Hermione respectively. And now this is the wedding, where they will just need to basically make their way to the right of the room. A lot of Aguamenti usage in this room, as well as the first required use of Hermione's Bag, and there's a lot of those. We'll be getting this creature out of the ice there to douse the flames on the right. And another Hermione's Bag usage. We have a total of 3 in like a span of 1 minute. And as well we'll have Ron needing to use the Illuminator here. And what the Illuminator does is it basically transforms the light from one place to another, which is a very, like, yeah, the game is just made around to have that work, but it's basically Ron's replacement for Lumos Solemn. Instead of that spell, he just has the Illuminator from this point on. And yeah, that's the first level of Year 7. And the thing about Year 7 and Year 8 is that we will not be seeing any lessons, because they happen almost exclusively outside of Hogwarts. So aside from this here, where they learn the Apparition ability, that's really it for like learning any new abilities for the rest of the run. So from this point, it's just levels basically, with the exception of this section where you have a really unnecessary diner fight with these 2 Death Eaters here that tried to ambush the crew here in this diner. I'm not really sure why they didn't just make this part of the next level, but yeah, it's just something they need to sit through right now. Just throwing objects back at them. In the second phase, they will basically just shoot themselves, and you need to shoot them yourself to deal the next heart. But for next they need to, or first they need to just like wait for like 30 seconds for them to do anything. Yeah, not really much to talk about here. I imagine they don't really have much to really say on their own right now. They're just kind of doing random stuff while waiting for the guys to give them the opportunity to deal damage to them. And yeah, it's almost done here though. Just need to wait for this blonde guy to throw the cake at them, which they can deflect, and that will be the end of this small section here. On to the next level, 7-2. This is quite the notorious level in this speedrun, and not because it's a difficult level or it has some cool skips. Quite on the contrary, this level unfortunately like basically has no skips that they'll be doing. Really unfortunate, but it's just really difficult. We can skip almost everything in this room or in this level, but it's just very inconsistent and annoying. Definitely not viable for a marathon run like this. So fortunately, this first section here is pretty fast paced. So all you need to do is use basically they built this defendo thing here. They need to use that, and that will get the newspapers out of the way. We'll be seeing 2 freeze clips here to clip Harry through this gate on the right here. We're skipping like half of this room just with this clip, because you're supposed to go to Umbridge's office normally, but we don't do that. And then clip through this gate just to skip using Agumenti on that water can. And one more freeze clip. And now we're on to the Ministry fight with Umbridge and the guy in the back that I do not know the name of. I don't even know if it's mentioned in the movies. They basically need to get rid of the Ministry Guards, and Umbridge throws objects. One of them is deflectable, and they're just standing in that corner so that they can get the objects to destroy themselves a little bit quicker. And this is gonna happen 3 times. After that, we're gonna have a duel with the guy in the back. And then after that, we're gonna have a duel with Umbridge. So, yeah, very exciting stuff. And you can see that because Harry isn't in that corner, Umbridge tries to throw the object at Harry, but because he's in that corner, they just break themselves on the way to him. Yes, now they need to fight this guy. Basically a standard duel. This game doesn't really go very creatively with boss fights. It's just the same thing repeated. They didn't really add very many mechanics to this game that would make for an interesting boss fight. It does seem like maybe Chimkin is taking a small break here, as yeah, he has nothing to do here for like about a minute. Interesting to see. And yeah, now they're on to the duel with Umbridge. Which is the same thing, just different. Same thing, different enemy. And if you thought it's over right after this duel, then you're not correct, because what's better than one auto-scroller? Well, 2 auto-scrollers. Just need to run through this hallway for like 30 seconds, and that will finally be the end of this level. Like I said, quite the notorious level because of how much of it we actually need to play. Oh, that's interesting. Shooting water at Crookshanks to slow him down. I don't think that's very That's very speedy, but what do I know? In any case, that was 7-2. Now on their way to 7-3. Need to use this bag pad here to get the rocks destroyed and the apparition pad to be buildable. And using this apparition pad, you can get to the next level. Now this level is also quite interesting. We'll be skipping the first half, and then the second half will basically be seeing in its unbroken form. This first room, the out of bounds door to skip this room is exactly where you think it is, just behind this gate. It almost feels like that's intentional, but that gate is not supposed to be open, not at all. And right here, they need to clip through these books. And this is a really annoying clip, actually. Because you don't have to just clip slightly through the books, you need to clip all the way. Otherwise, you see right there what happened. They only clipped like halfway through them and they got stuck. So they need to reattempt it. Quite the bad clip. This is something that kind of like this part of the run, year 7. Oh wow, that was clean. That worked out pretty well. Yeah, what I was saying is that year 7 is quite known for having the most annoying freeze clips in this game. It just tends to work out like that for some reason. And now they have this fight with Nagini, I believe. Not really much to write home about here. Throwing objects into him, and then he gets stunned, you get one object into his stomach, and get to drag him to the next phase. This is a pretty quick fight, but similar to kind of like the previous level. There's just not much you can do to speed this up. We'll be turning V-Sync on here for the next hub section. And I believe also for this next hammer that they're gonna use here. Again, V-Sync on, capture FPS to 60, and makes the movable objects a little bit more obedient, because we play most of this run on higher FPS because of stuff like freeze flipping and launching and pause flying. But higher FPS does also cause some problems, and yeah, one of them is the objects not moving quite as well. So they will be playing on V-Sync on for a couple of minutes here. This boss fight is almost over. Just need to throw this lamp. And that's the level. That's already half of year 7 done. Year 7 part 1. Or half of year 7 part 1, that's what I wanted to say. They have 3 more levels, and these next 3 levels are quite cool, as far as I'm concerned anyway. Right now they need to follow the Patronum to this next level, because it actually opens this door here to it, so that's required to do. And this first room of this level is the mandatory LEGO water section, which we all love and enjoy, and none of us complains about. But what I will say is, this room is actually pretty cool. It's not very fast, but it's a nice little 2-player movement here. Except for the part where they're using the swordfish to cut into the ice, and it takes like 25 seconds, but yeah, and camera pan skips do save us here. Unfortunately, this does seem like they didn't get that one. They're a little bit finicky in this water section, because if you There's something weird with player 2 not being able to be called in when he's not touching the ground, which can mess you up a bit. That should be fine. There we go, another caravan skip. And just one more thing they need to do to get this room done. Basically, looks like they will be setting up for a caravan skip here as well. Oh, looks like they didn't get it, unfortunately. That's fine, that doesn't save a lot of time. But they will be... The idea here is that you need to get the Sword of Gryffindor, is I believe what it's called, out of the ice. Because they'll need to destroy the Horcrux, which will be the next part of this level. Destroying said Horcrux. So that's the aforementioned sword. The end of this room. And now this is a really cool section. Basically, player 1 will be taking care of this right side here. Player 1 will be taking care of this left side. There's two... I don't even know what they're supposed to be. Two objects that you need to place into the rocks on at the top there to activate a parcel tongue puzzle to open the Horcrux, basically. So that's what's gonna happen here, and after that we have a boss fight with Tornado Voldemort. Very interesting boss fight, and actually I would say it's a pretty interesting one. Basically, Ron will be holding the Sword of Gryffindor in this section, and he can actually damage the boss, but only at certain times, and Harry Player 2 will need to shoot down all of the spiders so that the boss is actually damageable. And because Ron is scared of spiders, he can't really help out here, so with these spiders only Harry can deal with, but yeah. That's already the first two hearts, and here player 2 will need to build the flower, and Voldemort sends out these like weird small tornadoes, and if they hit the flower build here, they actually destroy it. So player 1 is running in circles with it, so that doesn't happen. But player 2 is using the flower to scare away the evil clones of Harry and Hermione, just so Ron can deal the last hit, and that's the level. Now we have 7-5 coming up, and 7-5, I'm also hoping for the best here. This is a level, this is the infamous level where you need to play the Three Brothers section. Fortunately, a couple of weeks ago, I want to say, we did find a way to skip said section, because how this next level looks like is there's one room at the beginning which will be skipped. You will be seeing it right away. And then we have room 2, the Three Brothers section, and then we basically go back to room 2. So, if we cut out the middleman, which is the Three Brothers section, if we just find a way to stay in the second room without triggering that section, we can just not play that. And that's exactly what they're hoping to have happen here. First of all, they need to switch back to VSync off to get this free slip through the door. This is the first room, which basically, once they clip through this door, there's an out of bounds door below the stairs here. Not really where you would think it is, but pretty close. And now they're gonna be doing a bunch of super jumps. First of all, they need to raise these stairs, and you're supposed to walk up these stairs and trigger the Three Brothers section. But what they will do is they'll get a stored super jump to get both of the players above the stairs, hopefully. Looks like they did get Hermione stuck, which is not ideal, but they can freeze clip her out. Ooh, that's unfortunate. Yeah, basically what the idea is, they need to get both of the players. Oh, okay, looks like they're soft-locked. That's unfortunate. They just need to redo that again, though. It's actually faster to do that. So that's fine. But yeah, the idea is they need to get, with a stored super jump, they need to get both players on the top of, basically above the trigger to the free builder section, which will allow them to pause fly all the way to the next part of the level, which is in the same room, just really far away from that part. Fortunately, this is not going really well so far, but it's fine, because like I said, that skip does save a lot of time. Okay, looks like they actually missed the room 1 door right here, but it's really easy to retry, fortunately. Yeah, this is about like the freeze clips experience sometimes. Just not the most friendly thing in this game. Okay, there we go. Back into here. Hopefully this time it goes a little bit better. Okay, they have Hermione up top. And they have Harry up top, there we go. And now what they're gonna do is they're gonna pause fly. Oh, oh my, okay. Wow, interesting. Huh. That's unfortunate. They're just gonna need to do that again though. That's fine. All they need to do once they get on the ceiling here is jump and pause fly with both characters at the same time to the next section. And just from a quick glance, this should be fine. Looks like... Huh. That's interesting. Got Harry stuck in the ceiling. I believe the power of free slipping will be able to help him out here. Let's just hope I'm right. There we go. Almost. Basically, they just need to get Harry unstuck, and then they will be able to progress with the next part of the skip. I'm not really sure what happened right now. Huh. I believe they accidentally switched characters. This is not good. Oh, is Hermione just stuck? Oh. Interesting. Yeah, apologies for the... I'm not really sure what is happening right now, but I do believe... Yeah. Well, that's really unfortunate. What happened there is I don't even know really how it happened, because I have some experience with that trick. I've never seen Harry get launched to the ceiling and get stuck in the object there. I guess we'll just need to see that again. Really punishing trick. This is why I was saying I am hoping for the best here. But they are really devoted into trying to show us this really cool trick. So all I can really say is hopefully they to make it this time. Alright, Hermione's up, I believe. No, what? Yeah, okay, Hermione's up, Harry's up. Okay, sorry. A little bit of a... Wasn't really sure what was happening for a second, but... Okay. Oh, I see what's happening. I believe, they didn't realize that Harry had Lumos on, so he couldn't jump. Alright, so we'll see the same thing again. Okay, looks like they're there. Need to retry that because Harry didn't jump. Yeah, this is a really difficult trick. Especially it's actually harder co-op because they need to coordinate it with each other, like when to jump, when to pause fly. It's quite a tough one. But okay, this is good. This is gonna work. They are gonna just go a little bit more to the right than they did last time to avoid clipping into the object they got stuck in. And yeah, this is good. There we go. So we've made it here, finally. And now what you can do is you can just, if you have two characters there, you can just switch back and forth over that the staircase there, and that will make player 2 launch upwards. And that's the end of the level, basically. Yeah, very unfortunate here. Did lose quite a bit of time, but they did get to showcase the trick, and that's all that matters here. And we're on to the last level of Year 7 Part 1, 7-6. And this level is really broken. This level, if it goes right, it will be under 2 minutes. We can skip basically everything. So let's hope that that happens here. Right at the very beginning, they're gonna get a stored super jump from just falling off of the ledge there. And they're gonna get run out of bounds and pause fly him to the next floor that you can land on, which is just behind that door, which is also out of bounds. But yeah, there we go. So now they're over there, and now hopefully they make their way to the out of bounds door for this next, to skip this room, basically. It's just to the left there. It's quite a wonky camera and takes a lot of pause flying. And there we go. That was really nice. And now we just have one more out of bounds door to end this level, and it's a very similar thing to the end of Year 5. This out of bounds door that they're gonna hit here, very nicely done, does not progress the story, but because this is the last level of Year 7, it doesn't need to progress the story, because we're gonna be put into Year 8 regardless. So anyway, that's the 3 out of the 4 years in this run done. We just have one more, Year 8, which is quite the trick gauntlet, if I do say so myself. We'll be seeing some really cool strats here. First of all, we have 8-1, which is the Gringotts Vault level, where they break into Bellatrix's vault in Gringotts. But before that, we have another auto-scroller. This very infamous minecart section. Unfortunately, or rather fortunately, I do not believe this one can softlock, like the one in LEGO Indiana Jones. Although I do have a faint memory of soft-locking this as a kid, but I do not recall how. In either case, after this this microtransaction, we'll actually get to the interesting part of this level. And even though they have shot all of the targets, they just need to wait to loop around here like that, and that takes them to this room. Very cool two-player movement in this level, especially in this room. Hermione is taking care of the stuff on the bottom with the bag pad. Harry's using the key. That's the key I need to use on the ball here. Just to scare the dragon. And it allows us to get into the vault here. And this room and the last room of the level are the same room. So instead of doing anything in this vault here to actually progress the level, we can just clip out of the vault. And I don't really know why you can just like, okay, yeah, you can just clip through and leave the vault early. And I'm not really sure why that door to leave the vault is there, because you don't ever use that. Usually you're supposed to do something to play a cutscene that takes you out of the vault, but that not only skips the cutscene, but just, yeah, leaves the vault immediately, and they can do the second part of this room, which is freeing the dragon from the chains. So very, very quick, and now they're gonna be on the dragon, and they need to shoot 5 goblins. Oh, unfortunately they missed one of them. There's actually 6 of them. You only need to shoot 5. Okay, they got him just before he was about to run away. So yeah, not a very long level, just has an auto-scroller. That's really it. And right now, we're gonna have a small hub section here to before the next level. Yes, just need to. If I'm not mistaken, that's like the second Weasley box used this run. Or maybe even the first mandatory one, which is quite interesting. That we go so far into the game without really using any. Right here, immediately gonna drop out player 1 and use that dig spot here. Hopefully the Death Eaters don't bully. Okay, nice. And there's gonna be a camera pan immediately after this bag, that's why player 1 dropped out immediately. Another camera pan coming up here after they use this the handle here. And once that camera pan plays, you can just, the invisible wall goes away immediately, so you can just jump through. And there's a clip here to skip the remaining part of this room. Because you can just barely, if you just barely clip into this wall, you will hit the trigger. Or you can just get a launch and fly over. That works too. This room, not gonna skip. It's really quick. 2 players, Ron and Hermione, do stuff on the right, Harry does stuff on the left with the alarm. Just need to use this Weasley box and the radio here to finish up. This is a really quick room. Gonna go into a not super quick not super quick room here. Right at the very beginning, they need to do a duel with the Caro twins. Oh yeah, but this is a problem with this duel, is... this is a duel that's considered a slow duel, and in slow duels, if you have the Glacius spell, for some reason you can freeze the boss with the Glacius spell, and that just completely stuns them, and there's nothing you can do for like 7 seconds, which is really weird because on most of the duels you can't do that. Like the Glacius spell doesn't do that, but on this and a couple others, it does that, and it's really annoying. And right now, they are gonna be fighting Snape. Interesting choice to use McGonagall here instead of Harry Potter. It makes absolutely no difference, except for the fact that I've never seen anybody use McGonagall here. Actually, maybe it does make a difference with the duel, because McGonagall doesn't have the focus spell. I'm not really sure. Anyway, they just need to throw 3 objects back at Snape here to deal 3 hearts of damage here, and after that there's gonna be another duel, and that's the end of the level.
Can I hop in for one quick donation?
Yeah, sure, go ahead. Perfect time.
We got $10 from Dexter, saying giving the ad revenue of my latest video to 8-Bit Music. So thank you, Dexter Jetster Clips, whoever you are. And that puts us at only $15 away from 8-Bit Music.
Okay. Yeah, thank you, Dexter Jetster, for that donation. A very amazing person. We learned where Camino is because of him. And yeah, if you want to see 8-Bit Music in the next run, which is gonna be starting in about half an hour, you should absolutely donate to the charity and put that towards the that incentive, because there's just $15 left. So yeah, really encourage you guys to donate for a good cause. And yeah, that was 8-2, so now we're going straight into 8-3. Like I said, this second half of the run doesn't have any lessons in between levels, so it's just a quick hub section to get here. And yeah, this is actually a really exciting level, one of my favorites for sure. This first room, immediately you're gonna see a super jump to get past the log here. And this is not a stored super jump like we've seen in the other levels. This is just a super jump. If you do some really specific movement and swap characters, Harry Potter just jumps through that log like it's nothing. Not really sure why, we haven't really fully figured it out, but that's how it is, and it looks like there's something weird happening on Luna's side, but anyway, that's the end of room 1. And this is a really cool room. Basically, the idea is you need to put 5 dynamites into the spots, and they're all around the bridge. Just pause flying there to get a little bit faster. And it's just really cool 2-player movement. Doesn't have a skip, but it's really cool. Especially if you're doing this solo with 1P2C. It's an amazing room to just like practice 1P2C, and it's both of the players are just like very disconnected from each other. So one is doing one thing, the other is doing the other thing. And I mean, that's about it, really. We have a dig spot here for the last dynamite. I am actually curious what they're gonna do in this next room here, because they're either gonna do a freeze clip or go for a stored super jump. I guess we'll have to find out which one they prefer. Looks like they will be going for the free slip through this door straight to the Chamber of Secrets. I mean, I guess they are already in the Chamber of Secrets. Okay, that worked out pretty nice. And I believe they're gonna be going for a super jump right here. Yeah, so gonna push Hermione into the water, drop out, and yeah, just like that. You not only get the stored super jump immediately, but she also just immediately jumps through the rocks. Like that. Stored super jumps are just something else. Very, very cool piece of tech. Just need to use this backpad as Hermione on the right. Player 2 just kind of built that skeleton. Doesn't really matter. It's for a crest, but we don't need that. And I mean, that's already 8-3 done. This is a really quick and really fun level, like I said. I would recommend this level to everybody. And we're on to 8-4. So we only have 3 levels left. We're not that far from being done. But yeah, this level... in any percent, it's the ultimate level of the run. And no levels early, it's a little bit more tame because we don't need to do 2 of the skips. But we will be seeing a launch and a really big pause fly in this first room here. So he's gonna try to launch off of this sweeper here. That seems to work out really nicely. And now he can pause fly all the way to the end of this room. And that skips everything that happens here. If he lands on top of this invisible wall, there we go. You can just go around and hit the door like that. Here, really quick room, about 15 seconds. Just need to get the piece of the pipe here, get Crookshanks in, press a button, knock over the knight, and that's the room. And immediately in the next room, we're gonna see another launch with Hermione. Hopefully. And just in between the objects here, pulling out Crookshanks gets you up like that. That skips a camera pan and some movement, and you can just jump over the next camera pan trigger like that. Make your way to the right here. Make the ladder out of this Defendo wall, and onto the last room of this level. Because this level is like I said, like the ultimate level of any percent. A lot of runners of this game just have this, are just really good at this level because of how much you need to practice it, basically. So this section, really cool 2-player movement. Harry is gonna be doing the right side. Hermione is gonna be doing the middle and left side. Basically, the idea is here that you need to fill 3 tanks of water to douse the flames around Malfoy and his crew. Fortunately, not all of them survive, but hey, we take what we get. Looks like Tfresh needs to get the broom out of the way on his side because it was in the way a little bit. These Aguamenti tanks are quite a bit annoying to fill out or fill up sometimes. They're not the best thing in this game, that's for sure. And that's 8-4. So we just have 2 levels left, and they're pretty quick ones. First they need to make their way over to 8-5, which is just down the hall. And just as a quick reminder here, this is kind of like your last chance to get the donations in for the 8-bit music incentive for the next run in probably around 15 minutes from now or so. So, yep, make sure to get that, make the donations in, and yeah. will be heading into 8-5 here. I didn't see if they dropped out. I hope they did. Looks like they did, okay. Able to skip that camera pan instantly. And you can magic that object if you just jump on that statue's head for some reason. You can put this hand into place. Place a camera pan, and now, hopefully, if they get lucky enough, they will be able to pulse fly over this gap with Ron and skip most of this. But okay, looks like they just got it. So you can see that Ron just kind of like stopped, and that's because the spiders spawned in. And if the spiders spawn in while Ron is pulse flying, you just like are not able to pulse fly anymore, which is really annoying, and it's kind of luck based in this level. Fortunately, they did get all right RNG here, so Ron is over there and is basically gonna do most of this. And there's another set of spiders that spawn in here, but because player 2 is by the troll, the spiders are gonna despawn like immediately. Basically, they're spawning in like now, and once they fully spawn in, they despawn like that, and Ron is able to do stuff again. And that's almost the end of this room. They just have some things to make here. And there, even though it looks like the doorway there is just open, there's an invisible wall in the way. There's supposed to be a troll in the way, but because we sequence break this level so much, there isn't a troll, but the invisible wall is still there. Right now, they're gonna do a stored super jump twice in this room to get out of bounds with both characters, because you need both Ron and Harry on the other side of this wall. And I'm not really sure. Ah, okay. This is the setup. I see. Yeah, so Ron needs to use the Deluminator, and Harry needs to use the Focus spell. So they did a stored super jump to get out of bounds with both, to bring them both here. This is a really annoying object to put into place. Okay, there we go. Second try. Now you need to augment this tank. Water tank, and that'll basically be the end of this level. I just need to bring a bucket to Snape. And I mean, that is 8-5 done. We just have one more level left, but before we get to the last level, there is quite a long walk they need to take to get to it.
Perfect. Well, that's a good time for a donation.
Go ahead.
Because we have $10 from United Knight Jackson saying 8-bit mewing. Alright, thank you, Parker, for the $10. I mean, that puts us only $5 away from our 8-bit music for Lord of the Rings. So, if anyone's interested in closing that out, you know, be a real hero to the stream, real hero to Extra Life, please do. And again, thank you, Parker.
Thank you so much, Parker. Appreciate it. Yeah, just $5 left for that incentive. And yeah, just perfect timing, because we're just about gonna be entering the last level here. This level is... the IL record is like 20 seconds. So we'll see how fast they're able to do it. It's one freeze clip and then some complicated out of bounds movement, and yeah, this basically this level, the first room and the last room of the level are in the same map file. So if you get out of bounds here, you can walk straight to the end level trigger, because this is also the last room of the level, so the end level trigger is in here. And it's already active, you just need to get to it out of bounds. Gonna be pulse flying over this gap. Oh, just barely missed that, unfortunately. And we will be coming up on time. Basically, time ends as soon as they hit this out of bounds door here, and it's gonna be about now. That's time. GG's to our runners here, Tfresh and Chimkin. Very amazing showcase of this category. This is a really amazing speed game, and this category is just full of really cool stuff. I don't believe Tfresh's mic is gonna be coming through the stream, so I guess I'm just gonna, unless they tell me otherwise, I'm just gonna close this run out. Yeah, just amazing. Very cool that we got to see this full game here. Like I said, I really like this category. I had a lot of fun playing it myself a couple years back, so and now they're kind of like taking the lead with or optimizing this. So without further ado, thank you again for these runners for doing this run. Thank you for having me on commentary, and yeah, I guess take it away, Hav.
Excellent. Yeah. Yeah, very fun run. Always nice to see some Harry Potter co-op. And we will take a quick ad break, but in the meantime, again, we have only $5 left until the 8-bit music Lord of the Rings restricted free play incentive. So, $5, all you gotta do is click the link in !Discord, click donate, put in your credit card information, log into Venmo, log into PayPal, whatever you'd like. $5, it's all for a very good cause. But yeah, with that, we will see you in a few.